Hey, what's up guys, it is Thunderstruck115 and today I want to talk about Black Ops 4 Zombies. But I also wanted to make a top 5, so I figured, why not combine the two? So today we're going to be doing a top 5 of not about what's already in Zombies, but looking towards the future and about what it can be. Now, I'll probably do a few top 5s on this subject of Black Ops 4. Not sure at the moment how many I'll do, but yeah. So today we're going to be doing the top 5 things for Treyarch to improve for Call of Duty 2018 or Black Ops 4. But we don't know if it's going to be called Black Ops 4. They haven't officially announced the game, but we do know that they're going to be creating another Call of Duty game this year to be released in November, like always. So yeah. Also, you might have noticed I have World War II zombies, but I'm not talking about that right now. But yeah, but since it is Treyarch Zombies, I should probably do some Black Ops 3 gameplay for the top 5. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Black Ops 3, much better. There we go. Now that we got some appropriate gameplay, let's go ahead and get into our number 5 spot, which is going to be the map variety. We definitely need more types of maps. You see, here's one of the mistakes they made in Black Ops 3. Almost all the maps were, well, other than Zombies Chronicles, were super big Easter egg hunts. In fact, the only non-Zombies Chronicles map in Black Ops 3 that wasn't was the Giant, and even that was a remake. So yeah, and while I don't doubt that we'll see remakes, I'd like to see like maybe a few new ones like throughout the life cycle, like sort of like they did in Black Ops 2. Like for example, in Black Ops 2, they released the game. You had Transit, which is a really big map and kind of complicated when you compared it to Black Ops 1 and World at War. However, you also had Town, Farm, and Bus Depot that you could play if you wanted a simpler match. That and Nuketown Zombies if you were willing to shell out $50 for the Seasons Pass. Later, of course, they made it available on its own, but not when the game first released. But anyways, meanwhile, Black Ops 3, when the game first released, we had Shadows of Evil and the Giant, an Easter egg hunt, and a nice classic simple map. Okay, that's pretty good. Horizon Drock, another huge Easter egg hunt. Okay, that's good. ZNS, still pretty big Easter egg hunt. Okay, I'm kind of in the mood for another, classic map. Nope, Gorhog Kroby, another big Easter egg hunt, and same thing for Revelations. So yeah. So throughout Black Ops 3, the only simple maps for zombies were remasters. I'd like to see like a few, maybe like new ones or just parts of maps like they did in Black Ops 2. I think that worked pretty well, and it would be nice to see some of that. Again, they could have remastered, but I would like to see a few new maps, sort of like with the Final Reich versus Grostenhaus. Not sure if I pronounced that right, I probably butchered that, but yeah. That was a big thing in Black Ops 3 that they really could have done better, and that comes in our number 5 spot. Coming in at our number 4 spot, we have the game modes. Okay, so this probably isn't the biggest thing in Call of Duty Zombies, because, you have the normal mode. I'm pretty sure you're all thinking of pretty sure you all know what I'm talking about. But in Black Ops 2, there was also a grief mode and a turned mode, and those were pretty fun. Sure, most people were playing traditional zombies because that's what it's really about, but it's nice to have, something different once in a while. So, yeah, I think this really goes hand in hand with the map variants, because, again, pointing to Black Ops 2 on Town, sure, you could have, like, a normal game of zombies on the Town, just nice, simple. Or you could do Grief Mode, where it's 8 players, 2 teams, and y'all are trying to basically troll each other into oblivion. Or even Turn Mode. Turn Mode, I think it was really fun. Of course, most people don't agree with me on that. Most people didn't like Turn. I personally was a fan of it, but I would like to see at least Grief Mode again. Like, even if it's not on all those Easter egg map hunts, big maps that are Easter egg hunts, sorry, like, some of the simpler maps that were just wall off certain sections. Like, for example, I think what could have been a good Grief map in Black Ops 2, for instance, would be, like, just the trenches and the workshop in Origins. Like, you could have had Pack-a-Punch, like, where the door to No Man's Land would have been, and like just scatter some perks in there in the Wonder Fizz. Yeah, but it would be nice to have something different like that, or even if it's not grief mode, something else. I don't know, think of something, but it would be pretty nice to have it in Black Ops 4, so it has to come in the number 4 spot. So coming in at our number 3 spot, we have something that is starting to get into some of the more bigger things that Treyarch did wrong in previous games. The game modes and the variations, sure, they were irking and not really that great, and they could have done better, but it doesn't ruin zombies at all. It was still very fun. But this is sort of like a borderline between the really major stuff and the little minor stuff. But coming in number 3 spot, we have the perks, or should I say, the lack thereof. So here's how it was. World at War. Nocturne and Totem, there's nothing, but then again, it was just, that was the first map with zombies, so I'm willing to let it slide. Verrückt. We got 4 perks that introduced the perk system. Okay, you gotta have like a set number of perks in order to like get it to start working. Like, you can't just like start off with like just Jug or just Speed Cola. So yeah. So they didn't add anything for the rest of World at War, but that's fine because they were trying to add some more important things to zombies to make it more playable, like Pack-a-Punch for instance. Keynote or Totem, they didn't really add a perk, but they made a modification to Quick Revive, so that way it had to use in solo. 5, we had nothing new. Then Ascension, we got 2 new perks, which was Stamina Up, sorry, I don't know why I flipped those two. Okay, a Stamina Up and PhD Flopper. So that was pretty cool. Call of the Dead, we got Deadshot Daiquiri. Okay, Shangri-La, we didn't get any new perks, but the fact that we got a perk in the previous map and 2 perks in the map before that, it's excusable. At the Moon, we got Mule Kick, and then Treyarch decided to retroactively add it to all the other Black Ops 1 maps, including the World at War remasters. Black Ops 2, we got Tombstone on the map Transit. Yes, terrible perk, but at least they tried. Who's Who, good idea on Dire Eyes, but just executed poorly. Mob the Dead, we got the freaking Electric Cherry perk, which was a pretty good perk, especially on Mob the Dead. Buried, we saw the new perk Vulturade. That was a good perk. Don't know why we haven't seen it since, because it's not overpowered, but it's very useful. Okay, and then Origins, we didn't get any new perks. However, we got the Wonder Fizz system, which was a cool new way to get perks, and I think that kind of counts. So yeah. Okay, so Black Ops 3 first drops. We get a new perk, Widow's Wine on Shadows of Evil. Pretty cool, I must say. The Giant, it's a remaster of Lyri's. There was only 4 perks on it, or 5 on the Black Ops 1 version with the Mule Kick that they retroactively added. So yeah, I can understand why it's not on that. Then the Rise and Drog, we have the 9 perks from Black Ops 3 that was in Shadows of Evil. Actually, wait, I don't think Electric Cherry was in Shadows of Evil or the Giant, but they added that and Deadshot to the game. So yeah, bringing back some old perks. And then ZNS, we don't have any new perks. So I'm kind of on a new perk. Gorod Krovi, still nothing. So I'm thinking like, okay, they're definitely gonna give us something in Revelations. Nope, we got nothing. Just 1 perk at the beginning of Black Ops 3, and that was it. Now, granted, they did have the cool Gobblegum system, which I think was supposed to be like a more versatile thing for the perks, but still, it would be nice to like just add like more than just 1 measly perk throughout the whole life cycle. Like, I can see like not adding adding a single perk every single map like they did in Black Ops 1 and 2, or very nearly, but like once about like every other map maybe. That's not too unreasonable. Or at least not just 1, but yeah, you know, I'd like to see some new perks in Black Ops 4. Maybe see some ones that we haven't seen for a long time. Like, we haven't seen Vulturade since Black Ops 2. We have not seen Who's Who for a while. Sure, Who's Who was executed poorly, but maybe they could remake it sort of like they did with Double Tap. I don't know, like, bring back PhD Flopper, or add the fan favorite Banana Colada that was put in custom maps. Like, just add some perk that we can use. But yeah, perks, number 3 spot. So coming in at our number 2 spot on the list, I'm sure you all knew this was going to be on, is the Gobblegums. So the idea of the Gobblegums itself, it was a great idea. I do like that Treyarch decided to try and branch out and try new things, because now we have a way to put in sort of buffs, boosts, and upgrades that are available for a short time. Like people's idea of like the Ammo-matic perk back in World at War wouldn't really work as a perk. However, it works perfectly as the Gobblegum cashback, which spawns a max ammo. So little things like that was a good idea. The problem is, over the course of Black Ops 3, the Gobblegum system just became more and more overpowered until it just made the game ridiculously easy. So let me explain. So, game first dropped, Shadows of Evil and the Giant, those are the early maps. The way the Gobblegum system worked is only 1 or 2 Gobblegum locations would be active at a time, even though there were closer to like 6 or 7 of them on the map. And also you can only buy 1 per round. It costs 500 per gumball. And then after that you have to wait till the next round to buy a new one. And then every 3 or 4 times that you buy a gumball, then the gumballs will just drain and go to another location, sort of like the mystery box. Then their Eisendrache dropped on Xbox One, and like about a week or 2 after that they changed it so the Gobblegums were available at every location, and you could buy up to 3 per round, but the costs of each Gobblegum scaled with how many you bought that round, as well as what round it was on. So for instance, round 5, the first Gobblegum per round, it would always cost 500 no matter what round you're on. But the second and third, that cost changed. Like, on round 5, the cost of your second Gobblegum per round would only be 1,500 points. However, on round 15, it would be 2,500 points. And then round 25, I believe it was 4,500. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was. So, then, they did something shortly after the release of Gorok Krovi on Xbox One, is basically they made it so the first Gobblegum per round was free, however everything else was still the same. Then they reverted it back until Zombies Chronicles dropped on PS4, then they just changed it and left it like that forever. Also, along the way, they added more powerful gumballs, such as shopping free, profit sharing, what's that one, power vacuum, soda fountain. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. When Black Ops 3 first dropped, however, the most powerful gumballs would have been Perkaholic, Immolation, Liquidation, and maybe even Killing Time. But now we can make it so you can have the map open on round 1, or you can have all the perks in round 1, or like even for high rounding, you could like you could just have 3 rounds of invincibility with near-death experience, or not really invisibility, but you'd always revive yourself and keep your perks. Power vacuum, you constantly get things like insta-kills and nukes and max ammos, so you're easy mode basically. And it really did kind of ruin the game, so I'm pretty sure some of you are yelling, okay, why don't you just play without using Gobblegums, or just only use the classic gumballs? Which, by the way, the classic gumballs were pretty well balanced. It was mainly many of the rare ones, especially the ultra rare mega gumballs that I had problems with. But yeah. Anyways, back to my point. Why don't you just play without gumballs, or just only use the classics? Well, the thing is, I can do that, but only if I'm playing solo. However, sometimes I want to play co-op, and sometimes people are going to be using those shopping frees and profit sharings and near-death experiences. And yeah, so I still would like a system like the gumballs, the Gobblegums, but just don't make them ridiculously overpowered like it did in Black Ops 3. So that has to come in our number 2 spot. I'm not saying scrap this system, but it definitely could be made less ridiculously overpowered. And ladies and gentlemen, coming in at our number 1 spot, we have the weapons. Now, I'm not talking about like the types of weapons like futuristic World War II. It's really going to depend on the setting for Treyarch's next Call of Duty game. We don't know what it is. Now according to a leak, it's probably not going to be World War II again. but not talking about that. But I mean, like, how good the weapons are and the variety of them. So here's what I mean. World at War, you can easily classify all of the weapons, or almost all of them, into one of two categories. Ridiculously underpowered or ridiculously overpowered. Like, on one hand, we had weapons like the Springfield, the Type 100, the Car 98, you know what I'm talking about. They were just ridiculously underpowered. On the flip side, we had weapons like the MG42, the Browning, the FG42, that were just super overpowered. Now, we did have like 2 or 3 weapons that were actually kind of balanced, like the shotguns were pretty balanced, Thompson and the MP40, but other than that, you could easily classify them as underpowered or overpowered. Well, Black Ops 1. Sort of the same thing as World at War, except the proportions are different. Instead of, like, there's still like 2 or 3 weapons that were pretty balanced, like the AK-74U was balanced, but yeah. But instead of it like being like 40% weapons are overpowered, 40% underpowered, and like 20% in between, it was more like 70% were underpowered, 20% overpowered, and then 10% that were actually balanced. So basically, yeah, it did increase how well I felt when I got a good weapon out of the mystery box, but it made the game kind of hard and challenging, which I guess that's not too bad for some people, but I mean, like, it's still, like, it's kind of like bland, if you know what I mean. But at least there was a bit of variety, though. Black Ops 2, I think they did pretty well. It was not like either overpowered or underpowered. However, it was more like a sort of a spectrum. Like, at one end, we had weapons that were just ridiculously underpowered, like the SMR and the War Machine. But then we got kind of underpowered, but not totally useless, such as the FN Falafel, for instance. I'm pretty sure the B23R. Then we got not bad at all. Like we got the MTAR, the AK-74U. Then we got kind of good actually, which is stuff like the Galil. And then we got like amazing weapons, which is like the PDW or the Tommy gun. And then we just got god tier weapons like the AN-94 or the Hammer. It's nice to have that variety. But, however, when you compare that to Black Ops 3's weapon system, it's basically the reverse of Black Ops 1. Instead of 70% underpowered, 20% overpowered, and 10 that are actually balanced, it's instead 70% overpowered, 20% underpowered, and like 10% that are actually balanced. Like, with exceptions like the Shiva, the LCAR-9, and maybe the RK-5, almost all the weapons were really powerful, and it just took away from the experience that you get when you get a good weapon out of the mystery box, because it's kind of monotonous. Like, I got a Drakon, okay, I can easily survive with this. Oh, I got a KRM, I can easily survive with this. Oh, I got an ICR, I can easily survive with this. Like, seriously, I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about, and you might not have realized it, but I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of what it is. And I kind of like the way Black Ops 2 did it, because I mean, like, while having too many underpowered weapons is bad, so is having too many overpowered weapons. Because there needs to be some sort of variety. Like, Black Ops 2 did a really great job, and I want something similar to that. Or if they could improve it, then that would also be amazing. But yeah, that's like a really big thing they need to fix. So if you enjoyed this top 5, then let me know in the comments below, and tell me what your thoughts are on the subject, and what things you want to see improved for Black Ops 4. That would be it. Peace.